Beyond the Beef, where we don't only talk about business problems, we talk about business solutions. I'm James.
And I'm Bob.
And we're corporate facilitators for a company called Secret Learning Networks. Every day we travel the globe and we hear about issues that employees have and they feel helpless to solve. We'd like to help you move beyond these issues and find solutions to those problems to help your company as well as your career. So Bob.
Yes, sir.
What would you like to beef about today, my friend?
Well, the beef I have is a beef I probably had, 20 years ago.
Okay.
Maybe 10 years ago.
Holding on to this one for a long time.
Yeah, well, hasn't lasted the whole time,
Right.
but a good part of it. But it's not a beef I have right now. You'll
Okay.
see why in a minute. It's definitely a beef I hear from a lot of people in a lot of companies.
Okay.
And that is, why do we need all of these consultants? I hear this all the time. Like, there's so many consultants running around any company. And I'd say this probably more applies to people in very large organizations, but it seems at any given time,
Sure.
there's consultants for everything, right? Finance, operations, marketing,
No doubt about it.
sales, product management, you name it. We have consultants. And I could understand where people inside companies are saying, well, we have all these people that we have working for us. Sure. Why do we need all of these other people right, that we pay probably double what we pay ourselves?
Oh, yeah,
absolutely. And so this is how I felt when I was in a company as well. And now, of course, we're on the other side of the fence.
It's an interesting topic we've chosen to talk about.
Very interesting
Absolutely.
topic. And I almost didn't want to talk about this because it's going to be hard to do it without
Sure.
sounding like it's an advertisement for us, right? And it really isn't.
But it is
Believe me.
something that people
It's
have to deal with.
something that really people have to deal with. And I think it's important, whether you agree with this or not, I think, to give the perspective from a consultant's point of view may be helpful. So that's what I think we should do.
Sure.
So before I kind of get into my piece of it, what's
Yeah.
your experience with this consultant question?
Yeah, I've had quite a bit of experience with different consultants. Some of the larger names, some of the larger consultants that you'll see. And in the beginning, when that used to happen, I used to get the same way. We could do this. Why are you paying this person so much? Why are you paying them that much? And oh, by the way, not paying me as much as I think you should, right? Right?
Always the case.
Right? It's like, I can make that kind of money. I should just start doing that.
Right.
Which is
And what you did.
yeah.
In fact,
Look at this.
I think this is going to go completely the wrong way.
Anyway, what I'm saying is that over time, when I worked with the consultants, what I really tend to find out was people that I work with are more, and the people that consultants work with are more receptive when the voice is coming from the outside.
Absolutely, there's no doubt.
I can only compare it to my daughter's softball team. I coach my 11-year-old in softball, and she listens to me every day.
Oh, sure, I'm sure she does.
Yeah, she doesn't do what I ask her to do, but she listens. Like, she hears my voice.
Got
she
it.
doesn't act upon it.
Right,
Yes, of course. But so when I get her onto a softball field and I try telling her how to bat or how to lay back in your stance or how to do X, Y, and Z when she's on the field, she never listens to me. She basically tells me to shut up every single time. Every other girl listens.
Yeah.
So what I do is essentially I hire a consultant. I lean over to my right and I get my assistant coach and I say, Mike, can you tell Livy to do X, Y, and Z so that this helps and that helps?
Yeah.
And she listens.
She listens to him.
She listens to him.
See?
And that's
The same thing with my
similar
kids.
situation.
They're not in softball or anything like that, but they definitely don't listen to me. There's no doubt about it. And there is a psychology to this, I'm sure. Neither of us, last I checked, are psychologists. So
Not yet, no.
Yeah, right. We're consultants.
Yes.
So, know nothing about psychology at this point. But what I would definitely say is I've seen this time and time again. And inside companies, it's no different than with your family and with your kids, people that are closest to you. And I think maybe it has something to do with that, right?
Yeah,
Is that
I think you're right.
Those that are closest to you, you feel the most comfortable with. So, maybe you take it more personally if they criticize you, or maybe you feel more comfortable rejecting what they say.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I think that's...
But it definitely is there, and I definitely see it inside of companies. And I was guilty of that as well. If somebody inside my company told me what to do, I was much less likely to think that it was valid.
Right.
Whereas when some expert comes in from the outside, all of a sudden, well, they must know what they're talking about, right? They deal with hundreds of me's. So I think that that's probably part of what's going on. And I can definitely confirm that as a consultant now and a trainer and everything else, I see it. Right, we go and we teach classes, and people listen to us, and they tend to take our advice because they assume we've seen maybe more than they have on this subject. And I think it is an important aspect.
Absolutely.
With that said, like any profession, there are good consultants, and there are very bad consultants.
Yes, there are.
And there are many, many that are in between. And I think sometimes the consultants that don't get the results maybe tend to sour the pot a bit.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, and so I think if I was going to kind of put this into, into a summary for myself, I would say consultants who go in and just tell you what to do, rather than telling you actually how to do it or how to apply it or helping you to apply it, that's where you spend a lot of money and you don't get all of the result that you're looking for, and that might actually make people become turned off to consultants.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And what I've seen is a lot of times what happens is consultants tell us something that maybe we've even already known.
Yeah,
right. It's an outside validation of what we know. Where the meat comes in is the how.
Exactly.
Right? I could tell all day, going back to the softball analogy, I could tell my daughter all day, or all the other kids on the team all day, to be better infielders. They're like, oh, I know I got to be a better infielder. How do I do it?
Yeah, thanks, Einstein.
How do I do it? Right? Can you give me a little bit of help here?
Right.
As my coach. How can you give me the skills, right? So you practice and you teach them how to get lower, and you teach them how to field the ball, and you give them those details, and it's the same sort of thing. You've got to give them the details and the help on the how, or many times you're giving them information they may already have and validating it and not really helping their organization get to the next step.
That's really true. And just to make sure that we're keeping it real here, and again, it's not an advertisement for us, the type of consulting we do is training, right? And it doesn't mean just because we're training that we're actually showing people how to do it.
It's true.
I think we tend to do a good job at that, or we try, but I've fallen into many situations, even for myself, where I'm really kind of preaching at people rather than actually showing them how to apply it. And we have to go beyond the workshop, beyond the training class, and make sure that we continue to show people how to do things and help them when they need more help. I think that's really the key. So maybe to leave people here with some advice, I think, if you're looking at your consultants and thinking that they add no value, think about the fact that they do have a lot of experience that you might not have, because I see a lot of different companies. And you might not take the same level of advice from people within your own company or within your own company, because it may not land quite as well as hearing it from a consultant.
Agreed.
And then if you're choosing a consultant, make sure that you are choosing a consultant that's not just giving you a whole bunch of theory and textbooks and frameworks, but they're actually showing you how to apply these tools and how to apply them in real situations.
Exactly. Applicable real situations.
Exactly. So you get the real return on that investment.
Absolutely.
And I think in that case, consultants will get maybe a better name and you'll feel better about it.
Yeah,
so.
You could even go off, sometimes you could even find something that'll stay with you throughout the how.
Absolutely.
Right? And that sometimes that can help as well, because sometimes they leave you out to dry. Here's how to do it, and then go and good luck. Staying with you along the journey as well is sometimes very, very advantageous as well.
I think that's right. And we happen to do that.
Just saying.
So anyway, thank you for helping us kind of tackle this topic. This might be a little bit strange for us
it's a little uncomfortable
to tackle, but I think it's important, and hopefully we've addressed some of your concerns. And again, if you have anything that's on your mind, any beef that you want us to talk about, be sure to leave it in the comments. Also, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear from you, connect with you, and we hope you'll continue to tune in. So thanks again for joining.
Thanks for joining Beyond the Beef.
And I believe that I'm bleeding like a pig.
Why are you bleeding?
I don't know. I
don't know
something
what
broke
happened.
open here. I must have hit something. I was doing well, but I can't very well.
Bleed.
This is
This is odd.
maybe an outtake.